All right, let's do this. My name is Joe. These are just opinions. I am JOEpinionated. Today on the channel, two guests. We have Sword from Sword Reviews, Rich Lotta from Whole Lotta Rich, and we are going to rank the 10 studio albums of my favorite band, Ween. And we're also going to be popping off 10 of our favorite tracks at the end. Ween from New Hope, Pennsylvania. They do have 10 studio albums, one of which is somewhat of a compilation. Lots of lots of live albums. Gene and Dean Ween, Aaron Freeman and Mickey Melchiondo met in typing class, ninth grade. And one night they were visited by the Boognish, and they decided to make gospel music for the Boognish going forward. You can read all about it in their debut album, God Ween Satan. It's in the liner notes, and that's where like the story kind of begins. So start with you. Can you just let us know a little bit more about, well, first of all, what's your channel? Where can people find you on YouTube, and what kind of stuff can they expect on your channel?
Oh yeah, so my channel is just Sword Reviews. I don't even upload on it often, frankly, but I've been just trying to listen to tons of like classic albums and usually making like rankings or tier lists or something, stuff like that. And my biggest channel technically is a GeoGuessr channel, so there's that too, which is Sword Slicer 56. But I haven't been uploading on that either, sadly, just since I moved to Chicago. But I'm happy to be here though.
Wicked. And history with Ween?
History with Ween. The first one I listened to was the Mollusk, and it was my roommate actually, who's somewhere back there, actually recommended that I listen to them because he said that they're a super weird band, and he knows I love like Primus and stuff like that. So he recommended to me the Mollusk, and then at some point I listened to White Pepper and Quebec. I don't know if I listened to any more before this. I think I listened to the Pod like a long time ago too, but yeah, I think those were the first four that I listened to before this.
Wicked. And we also have Rich Lotta. Rich, tell us about your channel.
Whole lotta rich. I've been at it for a couple months now, and I'm just mostly doing ranking videos with friends, people from our Discord and whatnot. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'd like to branch out into doing interviews and stuff like that, but right now I'm just kind of focusing on ranking videos. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Wicked. And your history with Ween?
I've been aware of Ween for decades, but I don't think I ever heard any of their music until a couple years ago when I did the deep dive when Tastes Like Music covered them. Today, I've grown familiar with their studio albums, and I've heard a lot of non-album tracks and seen some great live footage. Yeah, I think you could call me a fan now.
Wicked. Okay. And like I said, we're going to be ranking the 10 studio albums. My history with Ween, I don't even know. I was trying to think about it for a long time when I got into Ween, but sometime in high school, I sort of got into them. I know this because I got this album, Painting the Town Brown, on CD. And this was actually the first Ween album I ever owned. And I got it on BMG Music, which went bankrupt years ago. And I actually got this album for free because they went bankrupt after I ordered it. So I got the albums, but I didn't have to buy any, whatever. That was sort of like a thing back in the day, Columbia House, BMG. Uh, yeah. And so I thought this album was really kind of weird. Like I kind of saw Ween, I knew Ween more from their album cover of Chocolate and Cheese at first. I remember seeing this on the shelves of my local CD store and be like, oh, they're kind of like a gross band, like kind of like like their name's Ween. And I kept seeing their album covers. I remember even White Pepper, just like, they're just kind of a gross, weird, like thing or something, right? And so yeah, it was sometime in high school that I got into them, and it was this album, Chocolate and Cheese, and this DVD, Live in Chicago DVD CD combo, which if you ever get a chance to buy this as an amateur fan, even buy it, because the CD is incredible and the live show is great. It's also on YouTube for free now, so you can do that, of course. But it was one of those two things that turned me into a super fan, and I guess we'll get into that as we go. Top 10 albums, the Ween albums ranked. And I've never done this. So I've done a lot of Ween episodes on my channel, and I've never done this ever. Gun to my head, I've never been like, oh, these are the top 5 Ween albums. So this has been very difficult for me as a very big fan. Sword Reviews, you're up first with your number 10 Ween album.
Okay, sure. Let me preface this by saying that I am not going to be as ecstatic as you are about this, Joe. And I don't know about you, Rich, but the first half might be a little brutal for Ween fans or something. But yeah, I'm just going to preface by saying that. And truthfully, I don't know as much as you do about Ween, Joe. So like, there's some of these things that maybe in a live context are so cool, or maybe there's some interesting parody thing behind them. But anyway, at number 10, I have The Pod. And The Pod is an album I've listened to at least 3 times now. And it's just, it's very strange because there's a few songs in it that I think are really cool. Like Dr. Rock, for example, really cool song. Captain Fantasy is pretty cool. And I have it in my notes somewhere, Pork, Roll, Eggs, and Cheese. That song just randomly gets stuck in my head when I'm doing like chores or something. It's so strange. And I find a few songs like really good, and then half of it I think is just completely terrible. Right to the Ways and the Rules of the World is so bad that I literally laugh every time I listen to it. And I don't know why that song might be the worst in their whole discography. It is almost impossible for me to rate this album because I don't know. I think I would listen to it almost just for the so bad it's good quality of it, but it's not very good. Maybe I'll go 5 out of 10 on this. I'm not really sure. I don't know how to rank it, but that's my number 10.
Wicked. I love the honesty, and no, yeah, I'll get more into that. Like, if you asked me in the early days of my Ween fandom, I would have 100% agreed with you. So things changed for reasons, and I'll get into that. Rich, what's your number 10?
Yeah, same with me. It's going to be a little rough at the bottom here for Ween fans. My number 10 is Pure Guava. And I, out of habit, mentioned that it's their third studio album. It's from 1992. You want me to mention that stuff or just skip it?
As much as you want to mention, it's always
Okay.
great.
I mean, I'll probably just say that because it just kind of sets the scene.
Please.
When I first heard this album, I hated it. I found it monotonous, repetitive, and irritating, especially the overabundance of helium voices. But going back to this, I'm starting to like some of these tracks, which I previously hated. Some of them I still hate, though. I still think the opening song, Little Birdie, is too slack for my liking, a bit twee. The next track, Tender Situation, has some good, quiet vocals, and it's actually a good song that gets pretty weird, but it's got a woodblock that is way too loud. This woodblock ruins the song for me. I cannot stand Push the Little Daisies. The going gets tough from the get-go grew on me. I like that one now. Same with Reggae Junkie Jew, despite the fact that it's too repetitive and has an awful speak and spell solo, just fucking awful. But I dig the beat, and there's some cool sounds in there. I used to hate the hyper helium trip, pumping for the man, but it's just so Ween, so I think it's good now. I always thought Sarah, the love song for his future wife, was damn good, and I always thought the groovy spring theme was excellent despite the helium voice. Touch My Tutor has an unhinged, crazy man vocal. Thankfully, it's not a helium voice for once. Morning Glory is an amazing track. For me, it's a good oral representation of what it's like to be tripping on LSD. It captures the vibe and the intensity. Loving You Through It All is weird and reminds me of House of the Rising Sun. Don't Get Too Close to My Fantasy has unappealing vocals and sus lyrics that make me think of pedophilia. And I still can't stand the last track, Poop Ship Destroyer, with its wobbly pace, plinky notes, and I just can't stand anything scatological. That's a me thing. I used to have this thing at 1.5 stars. Pretty awful. Today, I'll give it 2.5 stars. It's a meh album, but there are some tracks that save it from being awful.
Wicked. Alrighty. My number 10 comes from, I think it's 2007. Hold on.
I think it is.
Yeah. So this is their last studio album, La Cucaracha, The Cockroach. Based on a song, it's like a famous song, I think in Mexico or somewhere, talking about the cockroach, about how the cockroach has lost his legs. It can no longer move. The Cucaracha. It's a very famous song. I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but this is basically the Mexican flag with that. So maybe it does. And maybe it's something about these guys have lost their legs and can no longer move forward. I don't know if that's true or not. and I just made that up. Anyways, the Cucaracha, I got it number 10. It's the only one of the top 10 for me that was actually kind of even almost easy. It's kind of my bottom by a little bit. What do I have it at? I have it at 4.5 stars. So yeah, sorry. The rest are tied at 5 stars, and this is where it gets fucked. Sorry. I'm a huge Ween fan. The way that I ranked the albums today is by live tracks on the album that I love. Because for me, Ween is a live band, and these are just advertisements to go see the fucking guys. And I think that like James Brown kind of said that about his albums and stuff like that too. You know, there's a lot of lore and there's a lot of everything involved with Ween, of course, but this one has the least amount of live tracks that I love. So the Cucaracha has 7. And so what are the 7? I'm not too sure of. Fiesta is a great track, the opening track with that electric stuff and the cool like synth. I really like that. I think it's pretty cool. It's the only time they open with an instrumental. Blue Balloon was really cool. The first time I ever went and saw them was on the Cucaracha tour, and everybody's bouncing around blue balloons because we all wanted to hear Blue Balloon because it was out at the time, and it was kind of this dark heroin track. It's an Aaron track that they never played live ever. And halfway through the show with the Blue Balloons, like, oh, Blue Balloons, oh, okay, yeah. And then they didn't play it. Friends, I hate that song. Always did. I like the album, the little EP thing, but I'm not into that. Object, the creepy murder song about a serial killer. Their songs are often about weirdos and serial killers and stuff like that. And they do weird things and they say weird things and they might say like really obnoxious, crazy shit, but it's art. So if you got a problem with art, get the fuck out. Learning to Love, really cool. I love the electric breakdown in the solo there, where it just all of a sudden goes supersonic. That is super fun and a great track. Cool track live. My Own Bare Hands is a cool track live. I kind of liked it when it first came out. I thought it was really funny, but it just some of the straight Diener tracks to me kind of aren't as great. When it's them together, it's good. And that's what actually makes this album a problem, is that this is the album where they didn't really work together so much. It's clearly a Diener or a Jeaner song. The Fruit Man is kind of shitty. Spirit Walker, I never liked that one. Shame Maker, maybe my favorite song on the album. And it's actually a bunch of quotes from his therapist, from Jeaner's therapist. And done he said in a Philadelphia accent. Sweetheart of the Summer is one of the few tracks with an orchestra in the background. I think the only one with an orchestra on this album. And Diener's maybe best vocals ever on Sweetheart of the Summer. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a jazzy sequel to Patty Flacker, but also a bit of a Beach Boys vibe. Lullaby, I never liked it. Woman and Man's like a Santana rocker, cool song. It's like 10 minutes long, really cool, but also really long. And I don't know, it kind of loses excitement at some point. Your Party is the closer with a Sanborn saxophone solo, famous, but also this kind of led Jeaner down a path too. He talked a lot about this song and how he kind of wanted to go when the band did split up the first time. He went and made this album, Marvelous Clouds, and this is sort of an afterthought of Your Party in a sense. Anyways, I got this at the 10th one, 4.5 stars. You're up next, Sword.
All right. At first, I thought you meant 4.5 out of 10, but you meant 4.5 out of 5. Like they're all
out of
like
5. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. No, I caught that eventually, but all right. It's just like Rich, pretty much. I have Pure Guava near the bottom. So it's going to be my number 9. And I don't actually have as much to say about this than the pod, because I don't think the highs are as high. I just think it's like consistently like slightly better. And that's mostly because I think a lot of the textures are pretty cool. And I don't think there's like any songs that I find like unbearable, I guess. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like it sounds pretty weird, but I don't know if I really care for any of the songs in particular. Yeah, I'd probably just also go 5 out of 10 on this one. I don't know. So there are occasional points at where I'm kind of into a groove with how weird it is, if that makes any sense. Like there's a lot of like repetitive stuff going on with like rhythms or instrumentals where I can kind of get in the groove of it, but that's about it really. So
yeah. All right. Rich, what do you got for number 9?
I have Chocolate and Cheese, their 4th studio album from 1994. I struggle with this album. There are a few moments of greatness, but a handful of these songs turn me off. There's a lot of pain here and unfun subject matter, like spinal meningitis got me down, with this helium-voiced kid asking his mom if he's going to die. I don't understand how I'm supposed to enjoy this song. Mr. Would You Please Help My Pony has some cool guitar and other sounds, but it's painfully dorky. Joppa Band is overly repetitive, although it has a cool beat and bass, but the acoustic guitar solo doesn't fit into the song, so yeah, that one's a skipper. The HIV song sounds a bit like circus music, sort of an intermission type of track. The only lyrics are the words HIV and AIDS. I just don't need these particular words thrown at me in a silly way. I don't find it entertaining. Okay, now that I've got all my complaints out of the way, I'll mention the tracks I consider to be exceptional. I Can't Put My Finger on It is a strange song with a very cool bridge. Voodoo Lady is gold, a weird, groovy song with some insane instrumental breaks. And Buenas Tardes Amigo is pretty great. I wouldn't want to hear a whole album with that phrasing, all those pauses, but for one song, it's genius, and the lyrics are really good. Aside from that, A Tear for Eddie, Baby Bitch, which coincidentally sounds like Elliott Smith, and What Diener Was Talking About are all also very good. So what we have here is a mixed bag. But what's good about it is enough to give Chocolate and Cheese a good rating, 3.5 stars.
It hurts, but it's all good. Okay. Great. This is weird. At number 9 in my 9-way tie of 5 stars. I'm doing this based on how many live bangers I got on this. And 3 albums actually tied for this position for 8 live bangers, in my opinion, on Quebec. I'm putting Quebec at the bottom of the 3 just because it's shocking. Knowing how much I love them all, it doesn't really fucking matter anyways. Yeah, that's based on some other cover. I can't remember the history on that cover. But here, pull up the songs. So I had an 8 live, like really good live bangers. It's going to be a long night, which is the Motorhead opening song, Motorhead-esque, and all their songs are esque. You know, it's not, and they're never meant to make fun of any group at all. And then they're not really a joke. A lot of times it's just that some of these characters are funny, you know, or it's funny laughing at these idiots or whatever in their songs, but it's never really intended to be a joke at all. So if we kill them, they have a sense of humor. So does Mark Twain. I also love Mark Twain. Like, fuck. So anyways, it's going to be a long night, which is cool. I think that Dave Drivett sings this one live a lot, which is their bass player. He's a very cool, bad dude. I met him once in New York. Same day I met Bernie Sanders. Zoloft. Zoloft, the second song, never did much for me, to be honest with you. Thermal Celebration. I was super high on it when I got the CD when it came out. I lost touch with that song, and now I'm really high on it again. Famous that he actually stole Santana's guitar and gear and did the solo for that song on Transdermal Celebration without him knowing when he was on that. I forget what tour he was on, but there's a story behind it, and Diener tells it, which is really cool. And Transdermal Celebration's like something about doing drugs through your skin. Transdermal. Among His Tribe never did anything for me. So many people in the neighborhood did a lot for me in my car. I love it. Sounds really like sonically, like you're saying, some of the songs sonically on Pure Guava did something for you. Sonically, so many people in the neighborhood has always done something for me. And a lot of people hate that song, but I actually kind of don't mind it. Tried and True, cool guitars, cool, you know, I Want to Smell Your Hole. I like that little joke in there. Anyways, Happy Colored Marbles is a great song live. It's really heavy. It sounds like amazing live, especially when you get the synths with the guitars, that doom dan at the end where it's just like a horror movie. Hey There Fancy Pants is a really beautiful, like great sonically, you know, beautiful song. It's actually pretty cool. It sounds like an extra song from SpongeBob, which was inspired by Ween. Captain never did anything for me. Chocolate Town, a cool song that I think it was Andrew Weiss wrote the lyrics about it, about going to jail for heroin. And Chocolate Town is Hershey, Pennsylvania. I Don't Want It, a breakup song with his wife. And I think one of the most beautiful breakup songs of all fucking time, especially Jeaner's incredible solo at the end. But the lyrics, I love the lyrics. Did We Miss the Moon? I love all the lyrics in that song. I Don't Want It. Fuck Jam. This is another like weird like HIV song. They always stick these fucking weird songs in there. It wouldn't be a Ween album without it. like Candy on Chocolate and Cheese. You have the Fuck Jam on Quebec. Alcan Road. They have way too many tracks at this point and they're just fucking around with shit and it just didn't really work for me. The Argus, great song, especially live. And if you could save yourself, you'd save us all. Rip Your Heart Out lyrics. Great to see Jeaner sing this one acoustically live. Yeah, 5 stars. Quebec all day long. I guess number 9. Okay, Sword reviews.
Wow, it's wild to hear you so dismissive about some of those tracks.
Like, oh yeah, 5
Well,
stars,
I'm
but
giving-
not
well,
these songs.
Here's the other thing. I love about 200 Ween songs. So, about 100
You
of
have
them
to
that
be
are on.
picky, I guess.
Yeah, the 100 that are on albums and 100 that aren't. So, I mean, there's some of these songs that are on the albums that I'm not that crazy about. And I'm definitely not crazy about them live. So that's what I'm getting at. They play
Definitely
everything
fair.
live too, by the way. Like there's only like 4 or 5 songs that they never done live out of their entire catalog. And they all sound better live, except for Bananas and Blow. It's the only song that doesn't sound better live. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I also just wanted to mention something like I don't know anything about like what Ween is parodying, so I just had to like think about it myself, I guess. And I was thinking the intro track does sound so much like Ace of Spades or something. I had that in my notes, like it just sounds like a Motorhead song or something. But
Big time. And they do cover Ace of Spades at a lot of shows too. I mean, they're, let me super cool. And
yeah, for my number, what is it, 8? I have 12 Golden Country Greats, and my only note for it, in fact, I think I could show it. I just put just not very into country. Like it's just a personal preference thing. I'm just not a huge country fan. I usually prefer more like energy into my music and stuff like that, and country's usually pretty like chill, and sometimes chill songs I really like, but just not country for some reason. And okay, I didn't look at like the lyrics, so I don't know how different these are from like actual standard country tunes, but like this, like sonically, they sound like very normal country tunes to me, which for a band that is just so weird, I honestly expected them to do more on that front, like make it like a really crazy kind of sounding country album or something, but it sounds pretty standard. And yeah, I think I pretty much give every country album I've listened to a 6 out of 10, and I don't think it's any different here. But I do like some of the lush instrumentation. That's all I really have to say. Sorry about that. But
there's no right or wrong answer. These are just fucking opinions.
exactly.
Love it. Oh yeah, Rich.
All right, my number 8 is The Pod, their second proper studio album. It's from 1991. This is perhaps their brownest album, from what I understand. Very lo-fi, deliberately unprofessional, loaded with distorted vocals, which aren't always grammatically correct. Tons of weirdness. The theme of this record seems to concern a food item. Pork roll, egg, and cheese. It's mentioned throughout the album. This is just super weird, sometimes extremely slacker and demented. There is much more in the way of quieter moments as opposed to the extroverted Godween Satan. The stretch of songs from Captain Fantasy to Don't Sweat It is excellent. Don't Sweat It is in fact gold, the best song here. Love the distortion. Dr. Rock is excellent, featuring sloppy, distorted vocals and a rockin' bizarre guitar freakout at the end. There are a bunch of songs here that are just okay to me, such as the opening track, the slacker Sorry Charlie, the muted Boeing, and She Fucks Me, which takes slack rock to an extreme. I absolutely can't stand Pollo Asado, the track featuring some slacker ordering a bunch of food. Few tracks are more tedious than that track. That was painful to sit through. But I really appreciate the experimental nature of this album, and I'm willing to overlook its shortcomings to an extent in the pursuit of unusual, unique music. So I'm at 4 stars for The Pod.
Man, it's so hard to hear sometimes, but all right. I'm getting through it. This is a Polo Asado / Freedom of 76 45. Glad I got that in there. I like that little guy.
Man,
All right.
if you enjoy it, more power to you. I mean, I'm not...
No.
You're young, but wow.
Polo Asado is kind of a funny one where it's I do find it really funny. He used to work at a Mexican place, so that's where the Mexican food comes in like constantly on these things, and that those accents or whatever that Jeaner does. That's always Jeaner doing the Mexican accents and the Spanish accents. It's because he used to work at a Mexican restaurant. So that's why that one's just a bunch of shit that they would order at the thing, and he just thought it was hilarious. I get a basket of chips and I get chimichanga, and they're just sitting there fucking around,
I guess it is funny, but
huffing Scotch guard, doing mushrooms, friggin' killing themselves laughing. I don't know. What's funny about that song is it's actually like I think the first Ween song I showed my mom, and she laughed. Anyways, all right. I'm not like a huge fan of that song by any means. Like, it's not like, oh, yeah, here it comes, like, turn it up. It is kind of funny
I would think One and Done would probably be good for that song. I mean,
though.
you get the joke. I mean, you don't need to keep hearing the joke. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
some people really like it. I don't know.
No, I think it's more that if you just kind of like love the guys, and also like to see them do it live is kind of funny, and it's just everybody's kind of in on the joke, and it's just we're all just kind of hanging out and watching them try to pull it off, see if he can fucking remember all that shit, and he does. He'll usually read it off a piece of paper and do it word for word the whole thing. Okay, my number 8. My number 8, I'm going with Shinola. Shinola Volume 1, hopefully a Volume 2 someday, from 2000, and I believe Shinola. So what this is Ween for every album they make, they put like 10 to 20 songs on an album. They cut that down from at least 100. And by at least 100, that's every album. They took some of their stuff and they constantly leak extra stuff or it's stolen or whatever. But Ween was one of the first bands on the internet. Their website was at one point, I believe, the 3rd highest ranked music website on the internet, something like that. I remember it was like Aerosmith and Ween were like owned the internet at one point. Anyways, they have a bunch of like B-sides. They had this website called Brown Tracker. They had all these groups, online groups, and you're allowed to record every show. They don't care. You're allowed to videotape it and you're allowed to audio record it. And he loves bootlegs and he loves vinyls and stuff like that. He used to work at a record show. Anyways, these are extras. This is just a compilation of a bunch of demos or tracks that they didn't finish that they just thought they'd throw out to give to the people, give to their fans, and give them a nice copy of them. Because some of them were already leaked and some of them were shit copies, and most of these songs they were already playing live at this point. And on any Ween community, we're always making the Shinola Volume 2. Like, that's just like every second month, it's like someone's like, this will be my Shinola Volume 2. Okay, because there's so many options for more of these compilation albums. Anyways, I don't know what else I want to say about it. I first heard it at my buddy's house in 2007, the day after I met my wife. What else? Okay, so songs, Taste Good on the Bun, crappy song. That one's actually left over from the pod. Boys Club. It's actually a really fun live song. And Ween in no way, shape, or form is like, none of these are in bad taste at all. So you don't have to worry about that shit ever with these guys. I'll vouch for them. I Fell in Love Today, maybe one of the prettiest songs. And this one was another one that I think didn't make Quebec, but Big Fat Fuck. So Andrew Weiss from Rollins Band produced all their early albums. He plays bass on most of their early records. He's basically the 3rd member of Ween with Gene and Dean. At the end, after they make all these songs, the 3 of them pretty much made all these albums, the 3 of them together. They sit around and they draft songs for the album. So these are like all songs that just didn't make the album. Sorry. Gabrielle is a song that they wrote after listening to Thin Lizzy for 2 weeks straight, obviously.
You said they were hanging with Thin Lizzy?
No, they were listening to Thin Lizzy. They're on a real Thin Lizzy kick, and then they went in and wrote that song.
Yeah,
is what Dean Ween once said. He's like, he's like, it's not a Thin Lizzy song, he said, but like clearly I was listening to Thin Lizzy for like a week before I went to the studio and wrote that song and put it out. So for sure. Did You See Me? One of the greatest live tracks in their catalog. And there's a version of Did You See Me at Red Rocks on YouTube that says greatest version of Did You See Me? And I fucking stand by that. I agree. Transitions does nothing for me. It's an instrumental. It's okay. Israel is him reading something. He is Jewish. The Rift. I was there for the live debut. And if you look at the Ween's version of the video on YouTube at Troutdale in 2018, I'm dead center in my Edmonton Oilers orange shirt with Edmonton Oilers, dead center of the image when they debuted this live, finally. Ween always played it a lot. I never liked the song until I saw it live. I never liked it. I was like, that's a boring song. Just kind of seeing it live changed things for me. I love the song. Love the song. Monique the Freak, a Prince song. obsessed with Prince. There's stories about them. They got kicked out of Paisley Park when they were 18. Dean Ween wrote a giant, like 4-page thing in Rolling Stone when Prince died. Dean Ween was in there. And like, he went onto the Facebook group and showed all of his Prince records once after Prince died. And it was, I've been digging trying to find that video. I didn't even know there were that many 45s of Prince ever like available. Like, it was unbelievable. Massive Prince fans. And then someday at the end, Tuesday is pizza day, is a big Ween saying at the shows and stuff like that. And it's a sing along. Some days always, I think it's been the closing song when I've seen them 3 times or twice at least. And it's a sing along where the lights kind of come on and it's just sort of arm in arm. And Tuesday is pizza day. Like, we call it the Flamly. To the Flamly, that song's special. I got Shinola at number 8. And as you don't know shit from Shinola. So you don't know shit from Shinola is where they came up with that name. Shinola being a shoe grease thing back in the day. That's the one that you movie guys, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Pretty sure he's using Shinola, right?
I don't know about that, but
Not sure.
you're right about it being a shoe polisher.
Sword Reviews, you up.
All right, for my number, I'm like losing track, 7 should be. I got Godween Satan, and I think I'm putting this higher than like Pure Guava and The Pod, which are somewhat similar, but I'm putting this higher because it has a lot more energy and just like a lot more kind of guitar attack. I wrote this in my notes. It kind of reminds me of like early Butthole Surfers. I don't know if they were inspired by that at all, but something like whatever their 1986 album was. I can't even remember what it's called, but kind of reminds me of something like that.
They love Butthole Surfers for sure.
I mean, that makes sense because, like, yeah, this album really reminded me of that, where it's like really chaotic and weird and a little punky as well, stuff like that. So, see, some of my favorite songs are Bumblebee Part 1 only. Part 2 is not very good, but Part 1. And then also, I noticed that all the best songs have a like a cuss word in the title, and I'd have to look at the track list again to figure that out. But whatever the starting track is, and then I'm actually gonna find it real quick.
You fucked up.
Yes, You Fucked Up, and Common Bitch, that one's really fun. Yeah, I think those are the only 2, if I remember correctly, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Godween Satan. And one thing I will say is it's a little too long, too. I think an hour and 20 minutes, you could cut it down to 45 or something like that. It'd probably be a lot better, but I'll go 7 out of 10 for this. I actually think it's a pretty good album.
Note about Bumblebee Part 2 is actually not on the initial release. That got added at the 10th anniversary edition.
Oh, well, I must have listened to that then.
Which is totally cool, which is basically like the accepted edition. So it was kind of more of an afterthought and the worst of the 3 afterthoughts that were added. And You Fucked Up, the first track, I believe is the first song they ever wrote together when they were 14. And they were still learning, like, they didn't even know how to play the guitar.
Wow.
They were just fucking around on like, going back and forth or whatever. And yeah, You Fucked Up, I'm pretty sure is the first song they ever wrote.
It's cool though. It sounds awesome. It rocks.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely sounds good. And that's a studio album of 26 songs from their first 6 years. So those are all their greatest hits of like their cassette years, they call it. And so yeah, they finally got a record deal and went into the studio and put that out. So the next 2 albums were not studio albums. The Pod and Pure Guava were both recorded in the Pod, which was their farmhouse that they were renting. They both had mono, and they recorded it all on a 4-track, and they used a drum machine because animals around, they didn't want noise complaints. And so, and their cat Mandy and stuff like that. But those are 2 4-track albums. The Pure Guava is actually just the leftovers of the Pod that they got $200,000. They were asked to make an album. So the 3 of them with Andrew Weiss sat there one day. They said it took less than 3 hours to put together, I believe they said.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was less than a day, and put it out, got $200,000. But anyways, all right, up next.
Do you have all the pre-Godween Satan albums?
Do I have them?
I don't.
I don't. I don't.
Like 3 or 4 or something like that.
There's the only one that I don't have anything pre-Godween Satan. I don't. The Live Brain Ouija is the only one that's really kind of accessible. You can buy the tapes because Diener used to work at a gas station. He was pumping for the man, and he used to chuck tapes into people's cars and fanzines and to try to get whatever. So there's a whole bunch of tapes out there, and there's a lot of leakage. Like on that album, on Godween Satan, there's leakage of Pink Floyd Echoes, and there's a few other songs that kind of leak it through in different spots. That's just leaking through on their cassette tapes because they're taping over their cassettes, and they just leave it. They don't give a shit. It's not like that's why the albums is so hard, like to explain to people that like are like on fringe with Ween. It's like they're really great songs in there, but right before they decide to hit record at the studio, they just like turned up the speed and said, fuck it. And then you get pork roll, egg, and cheese sounding like it's coming through a friggin' Mickey Mouse or something like that, right? But the song in reality, when you watch it live, is like fucking really good. And Primus fan, Les Claypool and Dean Ween are best friends. So it's, when they had that fishing show together for a while. Did you ever watch that?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty cool. You should
I
definitely check it out.
didn't even know that, but I'm not surprised somehow. Like it just doesn't surprise me at all. But
They had a fishing show together for 3 years, up until
I think I saw a
2000.
hilarious clip from it.
Yeah, 2008 to 2011. And it was, yeah, it's anyways. Yeah. And they both played together. Anytime that Diener comes out with Primus, they always play the Mollusk. And anytime that, and vice versa, when Claypool comes on with them, they either do the Mollusk or, I mean, they did that South Park thing together just a couple years ago too. Anyways, sorry, Rich, go for it.
All right, my number 7 is their 10th and most recent studio album, La Cucaracha from 2007. Very cool album, loaded with trademark Ween eclecticism. Few songs have horns, like the opening instrumental, which has a cool little electronic freak out at one point, letting the listener know they are in Ween territory. There are quite a few laid-back tunes here, but my favorite stands out as being one of the few balls-to-the-wall rockers, and that would be My Own Bare Hands, which is super heavy, absolutely killer. It is super misogynistic and disturbing. Gross, really. But I take that in stride, just as I would take in someone getting their face ripped off in a horror movie.
Exactly.
Subject is sung from the point of view of a murderer, but I wouldn't accuse Ween of anything other than playing a character. It's a nice, easygoing song, actually. Very, very good. Learning to Love sounds like country made by Walt Disney. There's a stretch of merely good songs on the back end, but the album finishes strong with the over 10-minute Woman and Man that has a lot of bongos and a guitar solo that keeps wailing away. Then more bongos. The final track is a fun, groovy number with David Sanborn, of all people, on sax. There are a lot of people who poo-poo this album, and I just don't get that. 4 stars.
Awesome. Right on, man. You're up to 4 stars. Well, shit. I feel a lot better going into this one. All right. Number 7, White Album. Or sorry, White Pepper. White Pepper. So White Pepper is, they came up with the title as a tribute to the Beatles, a White Album. And I forget, it was like the producer's idea, I think, or David Ayers or somebody like that. And shit, I knew who drew the cover of this. As I was watching this show, there's a show on YouTube. It's the history of Ween. This guy, I think his name's Keen, has put it out, and it's a really long series. He did a great job, broke down tons of stuff, and actually called people up and did research. It's about 3 hours long. In that video, he talks about who drew this. It's an illustration for them. I love the cover. Very cool. At a moment with this album, I was in a bungalow on a beach in Taiwan and hungover as all hell. I just drank some Tunnel 88, some rice booze from there, and the night before. And anyways, this girl, Darcy, DRC was her nickname, was playing this CD, and I had never heard the CD before, or I didn't remember it. My buddy Tristan told me he had it, but anyways, I just like was laying in my bed hungover and like felt so fucking good. I was so excited about this CD. Like it just sounded so friggin' good to me. It made me feel better. Exactly where I'm at. One of my wife's favorites, the opener. And that song always grows on me. And what a great opening line. Let's begin with the past in front and all the things that we really don't care about now. that'd be exactly where I'm at. Flutes of Chi. Apparently they tried to throw that on like 5 albums before this or whatever. And anyways, they finally got it on one. I love the song. I remember once saying it like I wanted it to be like my funeral song. I just love the lyrics. I think it's great. I love how things come in threes, even if you don't. An incredible live track, and one of the songs that kind of got me into them from this Live in Chicago DVD. And then Bananas and Blow. Like I said, I love the studio version of it. I don't actually like it live that much. But that's a very rare thing to say about this band. The lyrics to that song are just hilarious to me. I think it's so funny, but I also think it's a very slicker than snot, great Caribbean jam. Like, it's fucking good. It's really good. Stoker Ace is another sort of Motorhead thing with some kind of cool distorted lyrics, a vocal story. Ice Castles is that weird thing in the middle. It reminds me of the Friendly Giant, an old kids TV show, or like a Shakespeare soundtrack. But live is actually really good, which is bizarre, but I don't really like the studio one. Back to Bassum. It's okay. It's never done a lot for me. The Grobe I love, about cooking, it was like spaghetti and heroin, or rice and heroin, or maybe it's just heroin. Panty Flacker is some risky lyrics, I guess. I think hilarious. About this sucking in the parking lot. It's funny. It's shit you say. It's just shit that gets said, and it's funny, and it's a joke. And they also jam out. They got a couple. Claude Coleman, the drummer, is an incredible drummer. Okay. Diener usually does the drumming on the albums. On some of the later albums, Claude does come in and do the drums. But in most of the albums, it's actually Diener drumming when it's not drum machine on those couple albums. Anyways, Claude Coleman and Glenn McClellan, the keyboarder, are like big time jazz heads too. And they're in a bunch of other like really cool bands and stuff like that you should definitely check out if you ever get a chance. If you're into jazz, check those bands out. Stay Forever. A lot of like Ween people's wedding song is Stay Forever. Like, that's what you always hear. It's a very beautiful song that you wrote to somebody. It's a beautiful song. Falling Out is a great Falling Out song. And She's Your Baby is a very pretty way to end the album, I guess. Yeah. It's a cool album. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Great album.
Well, with that, we'll have our number 6, which is a controversial one. But Joe, you are probably not insanely far off because you had Quebec. I also have Quebec, but this is in 6th, of course. I think it's a pretty good album, but honestly, I don't know what the appeal is, because I know this is considered probably like a top 3 Ween album for most Ween fans and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't think it's as chaotic as a lot of their albums, which, even if I don't like the chaos, sometimes it at least makes it interesting to listen to, or, the few bangers that there are in those kind of earlier albums are like, it's still a really good song. But I also don't think it has like the melodic nature of like White Pepper or anything. But yeah, I mean, I love the first track. It's going to be a long night, sounds like Motorhead, which, I mean, I like Motorhead, so it's pretty cool. Transdermal Celebration is a pretty good song as well. Very like grand kind of feel. Chocolate Town's pretty decent, and I like the Argus as well. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not really seeing it. I'm not really seeing like the, I don't know, top 3 kind of nature that most people would put this album at. So yeah, I'm at 7 stars out of 10 here. It's a good album though. So yeah.
All right, Rich.
All right. Well, I've got a ways to go before I talk about that. My number 6 is their 7th studio album, White Pepper. It's from 2000. White Pepper is notable for being less eccentric than most other Ween albums. A lot of these songs are on the mellow side, which is another thing that makes this album stand out. The first 2 tracks are excellent. There's some Middle Eastern flavor in there. Even if you don't, sounds like 60s pop. Bananas and Blow is a parody of Jimmy Buffett and Margaritaville in particular. I dig the Caribbean flavor, the steel drums, and it's got a tasty acoustic guitar solo. I love a good acoustic guitar solo. Those are harder to pull off than electric. There are, in fact, great guitar solos all over this record. Back to Bossum is like light psych rock, while The Grove has a killer heavy guitar tone. Both those songs are excellent. Nothing here is less than good, but I just don't hear enough excellent songs to justify an excellent rating. But this is a very strong album, very enjoyable, so I'll go 4.25 stars. Very, very good.
Very good. Okay, so I have been ranking these by the number of live tracks per album, and that's just that I love live. And I've probably watched, I mean, on YouTube, I've watched probably at least 50 shows, at least, and I've watched at least 10 of them like 10 times, let's say. Like it's just I've watched a lot of Ween stuff. And then I go to the shows when I could. And I was at some pretty big shows. I was at the Ween Vancouver show where things went awry. It basically led to their breakup. And the first song on Jeaner's solo album, Covert Discretion, is about that concert. And that's a heartbreaker where Jeaner basically talks about how he had to get clean and it was money or his life, and how they left him up there to die. There's a lot of harsh words for his bandmates in this one, and also just for people, whatever, encouraging him, And anyways, he got clean and he's been clean ever since. And so that's really cool. And this album is like a solo, like one of my favorite albums of all time. This is a really, really great album. This is Aaron Freeman's one of his solo albums, Freena. Anyways, on this one we're jumping up to 9 live songs that I love, and there's only 10 songs on the album, and it's the country greats some of the country greats featured on this are Russ Hicks, Pig Robbins, Bobby Ogden. We got who else do we got on here? Charlie McCoy. I love me some Waylon Jennings. The Jordanaires, who, back up Elvis. This is basically the Nashville greats, right? So they wrote all these country songs and they hired a bunch of session musicians and they showed up. So between Chocolate and Cheese and the Mollusk, they whipped down to Nashville and got all these pros to do all this stuff. So this is Gene and Dean singing. They both play guitars on one song each, and that's it. The rest of it is these like Nashville greats. And so the songs that I love on this album are I'm Holding You as the opener. I'm trying to figure out which one I didn't like. I think it's I'm Holding You, honestly, but I'm Holding You with More Precious and Fine Ore. I'm Holding You is kind of cheesy. It's funny. It's just a classic country song. Japanese Cowboy. Everything is ironic, and you have the whole a blizzard in Georgia, a brother on skates. I called out your name, girl, in the heat of the night, and nobody answered because something ain't right. All these are very country, like whatever. This is top 10 country album for me of all time. For me, like I want to listen to this. It's great country artists with real lyrics, and not just and when it's like a fluffy, it's a great song about singing to your dog, your furry buddy. Like it actually sounds like he's singing to his dog. Sorry, Japanese Cowboy is great. Piss Up a Rope. When I was younger, I loved the lyrics to this. Like it's so dirty, it's kind of bad, and I don't actually really like this one live. Okay, that's the one I don't really like live. It's Piss Up a Rope. I don't really like that one live. I Don't Want to Leave You on the Farm is one of my favorite songs to play on guitar ever. I've played it for my daughter 100 times. It's a song that Jeaner wrote for Claude Coleman because he missed his girlfriend when they were on the road. Pretty Girl, hilarious lyrics about a love triangle. Powder Blue is just a funny song. Mr. Richard Smoker was maybe directed at somebody. I don't know. Help Me Scrape the Mucus Off My Brain. I love how I think I'll spend the dog food money and he'll love me just the same. If you really love me, baby, help me scrape the mucus off my brain. I love that. You were the fool. Bless the Father, bless the Son. Like, it's so great. These two guys wrote this shit. It's fucking hilarious. And then they got all of these like all-timers to play them and to tour them too. And they called them the Shit Creek Boys. Wherever that's this album here, if you can't see it on that screen, but this album here is live in Toronto with the Shit Creek Boys. And if you don't like Poop Ship Destroyer, Rich, listen to this version. You're going to fucking love Poop Ship Destroyer. It's so good. It's with these guys doing those heavy, crazy songs that you're talking about. So you get the mix of it. Anyways, You Were the Fool, cool, yeah, and Fluffy. I have a love affair with Fluffy. It's one of the greatest live songs from the band. They do like a 20-minute, 30-minute version of Fluffy, and it's just fucking hilarious. Yeah, I got this one at number 6.
Yeah, despite the fact that it's not really like one of my favorites, and I really couldn't be because it's country. I think it's cool that they got all those people in there to do that. Like, and like Ween wasn't huge in 1996, right? Or were they? Like how like how did they just get all these people to do their album for that?
They paid them. And that was the funny thing
Yeah.
too. They got asked that on Much Music. They said, like, yeah, how did you get all these guys to play on your album? He said, we paid them. And they say, well, why did you do it like in a studio thing? Why is it not like more like a 8-track, 4-track thing? They're like, well, kind of have a hard time dragging Bobby Ogden and the Jordanaires into our garage. We had to pay them in Nashville. So that's just how it was. Anyways,
Very cool though. All right, so my number, I think 5, I'm like losing track, is Shinola. I'm pretty sure it's called Shinola Volume 1. I was kind of surprised how good this was because like it's just a compilation album, like just the album Leftovers, as you said. So I didn't expect all that much, but I thought it was pretty good. Like Monique the Freak is a very fun song. Michelle is very good. I think it's just very consistent. Like there's not a lot that I really dislike on it or anything. You know, sounds pretty good the whole way through. And actually, I don't know why I kind of like Tastes Good on the Bun. It's just it's very fun. That's one that I probably shouldn't like, but I actually do. So, but yeah, that's a solid 7 out of 10 for me again. But it is quite good. Yeah.
wicked.
Cool beans.
Rich, you're up.
My number 5 is their 5th album, 12 Golden Country Greats. It's from 1996. This album is so cool. I figured the cover and title were just a joke and they would be engaging in their usual genre-hopping zaniness, but instead they stick with one genre, country music, and this is authentic country music. Like Joe was saying, they got a bunch of professional musicians from Nashville, and the boys handle the vocals and occasional guitar solos. Japanese Cowboy has some great playing, including some country bumpkin bass. The melody is nicked from Vangelis's Chariots of Fire, and I read they used to perform a medley of those two songs together live.
Yeah, it's on that album too.
Oh,
They
cool.
have a cut of it on that live
Interesting.
in Toronto. Yeah.
I need to hear that.
I think they also got sued. They got sued.
Oh, shit.
But it was anyways, they would do shit like that to get sued sometimes. That was kind of part of it. And that's part of the reason why they left Pink Floyd in there or whatever, but Pink Floyd never sued them. They're like, well, we were kind of hoping to get sued. It'd be great
Wow.
publicity.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Those guys are nuts. All right. Piss Up a Rope is gold. I'm not sure what instrument is doing the solo, but it's fantastic and has an amazing tone. I love the pedal steel on I Don't Want to Leave You on the Farm and all over this album, really. Mr. Richard Smoker is sort of a vaudeville number about a gay man. I think it was somewhat controversial, but I don't think it's offensive. Growing up in Texas, I have a weird relationship with country music. By the time I was a teenager, I wanted nothing to do with it. But as an older guy, I'm much more open-minded about it, and I truly enjoyed the hell out of this record. Another 4.25 stars. Very, very good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that bass bumpkin line. And yeah, same thing. Like I didn't like country for a long time. I grew up with it. You know, I listened to a lot of like Roger Miller and stuff like that when I was a kid. Jerry Reed. But I got back into it actually watching, and I talk about this on the podcast all the time, Tales from the Tour Bus, Mike Judge series, and also Ken Burns did that country music doc around the same time that I watched that Mike Judge thing. And I got way heavy into Waylon and just the whole lore around it. I like sometimes I hear a story about somebody and that makes me kind of want to listen to their music. You know, like that happens to me all the time actually, or like something to do with a music video or just maybe something not music related can get me into a band or get me to listen to a band. And so yeah, some documentaries really kind of pushed me more back into country. But this, for the longest time, was my favorite country album, period. Now I got like Honky Tonk Heroes and a couple other ones above it.
It's like the one genre I can't get into for whatever reason. Like, 'cause I've tried to explore tons of different stuff, and you know, for whatever reason, like country's just been the one I can't really get through. And my friend will always, he's into like Zach Bryan and stuff like that, and he'll tell me like, dude, you got to listen to this like Zach Bryan album, and I listen to them and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't know.
I don't like any of that shit, to be honest with you. I do like Sturgill Simpson. I do like some new country, like some, but yeah, for me it's mostly not the pop stuff. I don't really like the straightforward like pop country, like yeah, Zach Bryan and I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to diss
I
people on
mean, it's
here.
okay. It's okay. I just don't know. It's just fine to me.
Okay, up next, another 5-star for me. I've got the sequel to the Pod, Pure Guava. And so yeah, they got offered. I forget what it was. Somebody moved around, a record exec moved around, or they got moved from one label to the other. That happened a few times. I think this one was just Elektra. I can't remember. Anyways, they got offered 200 grand to make a record, and they did it in like a matter of hours. Pure Guava. And it's a bunch of, like I said, they have like 100 songs for each album. So this is actually just leftovers from the Pod, and they polished them up a little bit, but not really that much. And then once again, you get tape bleed on some of these things. Some of them, they've really fucked around with the vocals and stuff like that. Like you said, it might sound like a helium voice or something like that. They just kind of left it like it was and just put it out. How gangsta is that? But the songs are great live. And for this song, or for this album, sorry, Pure Guava, I go up to 11 great live tracks. I've never been crazy about Little Birdie either. And it's actually, I don't think either of them singing on it. It's another one of their friends. All the people on the back are their friends. And Gene and Dean are both in the image. Gene up at the top with his wife, Sarah, at the time. Dean are at the bottom. Claude Coleman was just a friend of theirs at the time. He wasn't in the band at the time or anything like that. He's just a friend from around. And a lot of these people are on the album. Anyways, very cool. Yeah, and I got the CD. I actually got the CD before. It was one of the earlier ones. I remember I got it in when I was in university. I remember studying and listening to it for the first time and be like, holy fuck. Forget studying. I'm going to check this. But yeah, Little Birdie, I was never crazy about. Tender Situation, incredible live track. And yeah, that tick, 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 with the wood. Yeah, I get it. But live, it's great. Stallion Part 3. I haven't got to talk about the Stallion yet. Dean is the Stallion. It's a 5-song suite. And the only way to listen to the whole thing is to get this album, which I believe is still on our website, which is Ween All Requests Live. They did they made a CD live on the internet. Yeah. So that's what this is. And it has all 5 parts of the Stallion on it because they got the request for the Stallion suite, which they have done live a few times. The Stallion sounds great. I love the sound quality on the Stallion on all parts. Big Jim was actually a misspelling. Somebody misread Diener's handwriting as Big Jim, and they just kept it. They just said, fuck it, whatever. Big Jim is the name of the song, and it's about a friend of his. Big Jim was his dad's friend, this guy, and he'd say things. I think it might have even been Big Jim that said, smile on mighty Jesus. That was like one of a saying that he used to say. And whenever something was going on or something going wrong, is smile on mighty Jesus. And so that's where they got that later on for that other song. Push the Little Daisies, never liked that song either. But their breakthrough hit is Push the Little Daisies in Australia and on Beavis and Butthead. And so that's the song that like made them a whole wackadoodle, and they had to go on MTV with Vince Neil and all sorts of shit. And they even hosted MTV for 2 hours, super high on either mushrooms or acid. That's a pretty funny watch. It's on YouTube. And they're just sitting there and playing songs, just super fucked up. The Going Gets Tough from the get-go. Incredible live track. The bass, Dave's bass on that one. Boom, boom, boom. Going Gets Tough from the get-go. Go, man, go. Reggae Junkie Jew, I saw a really cool live version of that one. I forget who. It's about somebody from their hometown, New Hope, Pennsylvania. I played off Legit, hilarious live track as well. And I kind of like this track. I used to laugh. Listen to it. Pump It for the Man, song about Diener pumping gas. Sarah, I think, is probably the prettiest song on the album and one of their prettiest songs ever. I love the way it sounds sonically. Beautiful. Spring Theme does nothing for me. Flies on My Dick is hilarious. I forget, that's, I think, one of their other buddies. I think it's the Guy Heller, maybe. He's the one that Diener did Moist Boys with. So this is one of the side projects, Moist Boys. Curious, really, really cool punk rock. You would love this, Rich. If you haven't heard Moist Boys yet, you should check them out. You'd love it. For sure. I saw Gina Crying in Sleep is very funny. I think it's a hilarious song. Touch My Tutor is a live standard and a great song, especially on Live in Chicago, which is not available on vinyl. That'll be a great day in my life when this is finally on vinyl, Live in Chicago. Touch with Tutor, Morning Glory, Nothing for Me, Loving You Through It All, Hey Fat Boy Asshole is just them fucking around. That's obviously just an extra song. Don't Get Too Close to My Fantasy is actually like a Ween fan favorite, and it's never really done much for me either. And the final song, Poop Ship Destroyer, one of my favorite live songs of all time on my first CD, this one here. That vinyl of it, which I have over there, was like the holy grail for Ween albums at one point. They repressed it, now it's not anymore. Anyways, they do a 30-minute version. It's an entire side of Wax on that one. And they basically just keep playing it, but they're all super fucked up and you can hear it on the recording. I love it. I don't know, if I just get in the right mood, those longer ones on here really do a lot for me. So that's it for that one. Yeah. I
What
love that
about
album.
the album version? Do you like of
Oh, so here's the thing. One of my favorite songs of all time, especially on that, and also on that Live in Toronto. Excellent on there too. But the album version does next to nothing for me. It's just a fucking kid's song. But it's just, they wrote this song, boom, 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 boom. They just wrote the bass line, put it out on the album, and it's just them fucking around. A song about, number two, a boo poo boo, taking a shit and haha, writing a jingle. And I don't know, the song, I never ever, even though it's one of my favorite songs of all time, I don't put it on the friggin', I never put this version on. No. I don't even, it's not even like recognizable to me as that song. So yeah, which is weird. I know, because we're ranking the albums, but this is how I'm doing it. That's where I got that album. All right, Sword.
I just realized you're putting the pod in top 4 somewhere. That's terrifying, but fair enough. All right. For my number 4, I have La Cucaracha. So I'm the highest, or I have this the highest among you guys. And I think it's a very like fun album. Like it's just, it's got the horns as Rich said, and very like kind of Latin sounding. I think Fiesta is a really good opener just for like setting the tone for everything, and with the horns and whatever. I think Friends is a very fun song. Like, Joe, I know you said you hate it, but I think it's a very fun song. Almost reminds me of like They Might Be Giants or something. That's kind of the feeling that it gives, like maybe inspiration there. I'm not sure, but
They actually brought a DJ in on that song, and it was a guy, I forget what it was, some famous DJ anyways, from Europe somewhere. Anyways.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
My Own Bare Hands, really awesome, as Rich said. And then Woman and Man as just that absolutely fiery like guitar section, just one of the probably the best display of guitar playing in their whole discography, at least for the studio albums. And I think the rest of the songs are good, but maybe a little bit like lacking eccentricity. Maybe I think it's a little bit of a bland album, but I think it has some pretty good standouts. Yeah, I'm at a higher 7 on this one. But yeah, it's a really good album.
All right, cool. So my number 4 is the debut, God, Ween, Satan, The Oneness. It's from 1990. This is a slacker rock classic as far as I'm concerned. It's a great drinking album. It just has that fun-loving attitude, that reckless abandon. I love how experimental Ween is. I love how they're willing to throw the craziest shit at the wall to see what sticks. For that reason, I give their albums plenty of leeway, even when the experiments don't land for me. Gene and Dean Ween are super talented, and I love their insane sense of humor. They traffic in trippy and bizarre sounds, which I love, and I love their eclecticism, which is quite evident on this album. Right off the bat, we get the unhinged greatness of You Fucked Up, with plenty of deranged screaming and rocking out. Tick starts off sounding calmer, but soon flies off the rails. Fat Lenny, totally off the chain, just bananas. I mean, these guys really sound crazy. Bumblebee Part 2 is a rockin' tune in which Dean Ween complains bitterly about being locked out in the cold. LMLYP, which stands for Let Me Lick Your Pussy, is a wild, slinky, Prince-inspired tune that goes on for nearly 9 minutes, featuring a killer guitar solo near the end. There are too many great songs here to mention, but also some I'm not crazy about, like Never Squeal, which features a chainsaw, and Birthday Boy, which features a painfully harsh guitar tone. But, sorry, Joe, maybe it's better live.
I can't deal with that one. Never Squeal and Birthday Boy? Well, no, actually, no. Yeah, sorry.
That's
on the
okay.
album. Okay. Never Squeal sounds great on the album, though.
Yeah,
Birthday Boy is clearly
Hard
taped over top
could
of
be too
something else.
much for me.
Yeah.
I like a good harsh guitar tone, but it can't be too harsh. I'm picky. But it's all part of the craziness. So I'm willing to sort of overlook the parts that turn me off in the name of experimentation. But really, there's so much ass kicking greatness here. 4.5 stars.
Yeah. All right. It was this album. So how many live songs are on it? Sorry. Continue. So this also 11 great live jams on this album. My number 4 album is Chocolate and Cheese. The deluxe that just came out a couple years ago, and it has some extra songs on it. So they did release one with extra tracks, which I'm hoping they do with all their albums. Let's pray. Hail Boognish. Let's pray to Boognish. I love the extra tracks on here, especially Warm Socks. A major standout for me on the new extras on this one. This was at one point my grail. This is a OG pressing on Grand Royal, and I love Grand Royal because it always reminds me of the Beastie Boys. The album cover. Sorry,
I
go
gotta
ahead.
say that cover has long made an impression on me,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, as a heterosexual young man. But you know, it's funny because I didn't have a clue what it sounded like. You know, I the impression that I had was nothing like what the contents are. You know, I figured it was
Yeah.
some like pop punk band that I wasn't gonna like, or you know. So anyway, that's carry on.
Totally. No, totally. That's something that I've only remembered in the last few days, honestly. I was thinking about that. I was trying to think about when I discovered Ween. And one of my earliest thoughts is this album cover. So this is actually a shower curtain that my buddy got for me. And Dean Ween talked about it in a cameo that he made that my buddy ordered for me. They said a shower curtain? Like, I didn't even realize we made these things. Probably the management selling them behind my back. But anyways, this is also a 33 and a third on the album, which is I highly recommend. It's great. There's also a digital version of this, so you can buy it on like iBooks or whatever the hell that is. I don't know if people do that anymore. I used to do that on my iPad, but it's really great. I do remember that album cover though, and on the CDs there, and just being like, yeah, these guys are kind of weird or something. You know, like, oh, what kind of weird music is that? I don't know. Here's a puzzle. Here's a puzzle for the album. I got a lot of chocolate and cheese stuff because for a long time it was my favorite album, period. And it's still like up there for me. But it's also kind of like one of my gateways to the group was a moment I had listening to this actual copy here with a big crack down the screen still of chocolate and cheese. And I just like had like it was just like I get this. Like I fucking like this. I like what they're doing. I really enjoy the way this sounds. And like it's totally different every song. It's not like because I right before I listened to this album in its entirety, this sounds fucked up, but I did a Tom Waits deep dive. And then this is in 2003. And I was working at a Christmas tree farm. This is Napster heaven. I could download whatever I wanted. So I downloaded the entire discography of Tom Waits and I listened to it. I forget how many days it took me, but it took me days to listen to all of it. And cutting Christmas trees in fields, getting stung by bees and stuff like that. And so like I got in this really weird headspace. And then I listened to this album and it like kind of like totally different headspace, but I was just like, it's summertime. Like, I don't know. Like, I just got in a great mood and I loved it. I was like, shit, this Dean Ween is an awesome guitar player. It was my first impression. And I love the way that Jeaner sings on this album. Like, that was my first impression. I was like, wow, you know, like Freedom of 76, this guy fucking wails. And so anyways, it was my introduction. It was actually listening to the final song, Don't Shit Where You Eat, when I was just kind of like, had like, you know, I know where I was standing kind of thing. And I take my kids there because it's on a Christmas tree farm that I get my Christmas tree at every year. And I can look at that spot where I fell in love with Ween. Take Me Away. The opening track is a hilarious song about getting away from a crazy woman or crazy girlfriend. Spinal meningitis got me down is a dark topic to sing in a song, but it's a song, it's art, and I love dark topics. Kind of like, you know, there's so many dark topics in a lot of these songs. I don't know. I kind of appreciate a bit of the sense of humor of it. It's obviously not meant to be serious. And I like the song. The song is actually like a live, like a banger. It's a really good live song. Freedom of 76 was like, okay, Gina preached to us. Like, bring us to church. You'd watch him and his range was incredible, like through the roof, like sing on. Like Chris Cornell was like a comparable in my mind of people I've seen live. When he wanted to belt it, Jeter could fucking wail. Watch this entire concert and tell me he can't. I can't put my finger on it. Sometimes I'm kind of into it and sometimes I'm not. They do a live version on Conan O'Brien, which they got in a lot of trouble for using something they weren't supposed to use. I forget. A Tear for Eddie is for Eddie Hazel of Funkadelic, and that's one of Diener's heroes. So yeah, Eddie Hazel passed away. Also, this album dedicated to John Candy. It says in the liner notes too, because John Candy had just passed away just before this came out, which is really cool as a Canadian, especially. Roses Are Free live on this made a big deal for me. Fish obviously covers it. There's a lot of lore around that song. It's a really great song. It's probably one of their best compositions. I love the dueling guitars. Very excellent live. Sorry. Baby Bitch is great live and on the CD. I like it. I kind of like the droney sound to it. It's a fun one to play on guitar. I love the lyrics. Got fat, got angry, started hating myself. Like very on. I wrote Birthday Boy for you, babe. Right? Like you wrote that song for her. And now it's another letter about her coming into a room when he's with his new girl. Baby bitch, you slip back into yourself. Mister, would you please help my pony? Is about he was tripping on mushrooms, I believe in Seattle, and there was something going on in front of him with the pony, and and he's a pony. Like it's just like a whole scene that he was having tripping balls on mushrooms in Seattle is what those lyrics are based on. Drifter in the Dark. Is old timey call and response, kind of a fun live one, sort of. I've never been too crazy about it, but it definitely sounds sonically. It sounds great. Voodoo Lady, sonically sounds amazing. The live version of this song is like awesome. I don't know, it's better than the one on here. It's definitely an early favorite of mine. Candy is Dean Ween's least favorite Ween song ever is Candy. And I think they've only played it live once, and they were going to play it live a second time at the anniversary show that I had tickets for. So they got canceled because Ween is currently on hiatus. Joppa Road. Joppa Road's a cool track. It's very pretty. It's a cool song. It's kind of reminds me very much of a Beatles track in some ways. Candy. Sorry, I already did that. Buenos Tardes, Amigo. Hilarious track. Love to play on the guitar. I love the story about a guy who's going to kill this other guy because he killed his brother, or did he? And Mama loved him the best. He was head honcho with the ladies. Mama always said he was blessed. Hilarious song. I love the guitar solo. HIV song. It used to make me laugh, actually. I don't know why I used to giggle my ass off hearing that song, but it doesn't do much for me now, other than I like to play it on guitar. Just it's a good warm-up song. What Dieter was talking about is a big song for the band because that was when they got back together in 2016, the first song they played live together after getting applause for however long that was. It was really cool. And Don't Shit Where You Eat for a long time was also my favorite Ween song. It's one of my anthems. Yeah. So there you go. Love it. Sorry.
It's good
Produce.
advice too.
It's great advice.
Undeniably.
I need advice like that.
All right, should I do my number 3?
Number 3.
All right, my number 3 is a fan favorite, and we got The Mollusk. And The Mollusk, I'd say in this list, this is the first one where I think, like, these are the great albums. Like, I'd say my top 3, I think are really great albums. I think it's a super unique album that's, like, very cohesively put together. Like, the whole thing sounds very strange and aquatic, and even the first song I'm dancing in the show tonight, it's kind of weird where it's like not a great song on its own, in my opinion, but like when you listen to it in the context of the album, it just feels really cool, like within it, I guess, and especially as a starter. And I like albums like that where it all just feels like it flows together and every track makes you feel a certain way that fits together. The Mollusk has that great, like fluttering instrumental kind of thing. Polka Dot Tail is a great melodic, like psychedelic kind of song. Love that one. And of course, you got Ocean Man later on in here. I mean, Ocean Man is just, it's a classic for a reason. Pretty sure the song inspired SpongeBob. I think you said that earlier or something as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just a great album that really fits everything together very well. And I think Ween being such a weird band, they really make something that is both melodic and strange here. Yeah, it's really great. So, number 3, The Mollusk.
Yeah. The album inspired SpongeBob, and the song Ocean Man was featured in the SpongeBob movie. Right when the movie closes, it kicks into Ocean Man.
That's why I thought that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you
Pretty close
tied it
then.
together. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, my number 3 is The Mollusk. Just like Sword, their 6th studio album. It's from 1997, and this is a fabulistic album. Absolutely wonderful. Like Sword mentioned, there's a loose aquatic theme running through it. Some of Ween's most magical music is found here. The exquisite title track with its fluttery keyboard accents, the ominous sounding The Golden Eel, the alternately stately then rocking Buckingham Green. All gold. The last 2 tracks are also gold. Ocean Man is such a fun song with a killer guitar solo from Diener, and She Wanted to Leave. I really feel this one. The opening vaudeville track with its weird vocals is echoed at the end of the album, which I appreciate. Polka Dot Tale is a waltz with a cool Diener guitar solo and a trippy ending. The Blarney Stone sounds like a sea shanty. Cold Blows the Wind is excellent, and I think I hear a mellotron. Nothing here is less than good, and the highs are high enough for me to declare this a 5-star album.
Hells yeah. Isn't it a Mellotron? That's funny. You're probably right. I wish I could tell you because it's the only album that I don't currently own. I sold my copy at a record show to somebody that really wanted it. And I definitely sold it for way too cheap. After the fact, I was like, it's okay. I'll just get another copy of it. And then I was like, oh my God. Anyways, you're lucky. Whoever bought it off of me at that Nanaimo record show, I don't know, 3 years ago, I want to say, the Mollusk. $60, I think, is what I sold it to you for. That's fucking embarrassing. That's Canadian too. So that's like probably like, what you get at the drive-thru at fucking McDonald's or something. Anyways, yeah. So my number 3 is the Mollusk, and I got 11 songs on it as well. So that's cool. There we go, guys. 3, we all got the Mollusk. 11 great live tracks for me. The cover, famously done by Storm Thorgerson, who also did Dark Side of the Moon and a bunch of other really cool, every Pink Floyd album after the first one. Also grew up with David Gilmour, but also, yeah, world famous artist. Did the cover, and when he came over to meet with Ween, he told Ween that they were like this generation's answer to Floyd and Zeppelin. And that was like the greatest moment for Diener, hearing that from Storm Thorgerson. And he loved this cover. It was one of his favorite covers that Storm ever did. So the cover art on the album. Nautical theme inspired SpongeBob SquarePants. They all went later on, did a song for SpongeBob, Loop-de-Loop, in an episode. And anyways, yeah, I had a great relationship with the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants. And there's a lot of things tied into the first 3 seasons, because that's when he was in charge to this album, The Mollusk. Dancing the Show Tonight is cool. It sounds great on The Mollusk. Very beautiful track. Like I said, Les Claypool often gets on stage and plays that one with them, which is really cool. Polka Dot Tale is a great live one. Oh, The Mollusk, the end. Yes, that part at the end is really cool. Live sounds incredible. Just hits you like a ton of bricks too when it hits with the trumpet keys. Polka Dot Door is a great live banger. Have you ever seen a whale? This old kid's song. Beer Johnny on the Spot. He had this was a ring modulator that broke right after he recorded that song. So it was only used for one song. And that's why he has that really cool tone on his guitar, that ring modulator. He built it with some kit or whatever. Anyways, sounds cool. Mutilated Lips is really cool. Tuning he does on it, famously posted that on YouTube. Cool lyrics, very washed out hippie 70s thing. Blarney Stone is a great live one. Not very good on the album, but great live. It's high, because it's a lot of pirate songs on this one, right? It's all nautical theme. Anyways, it's just kind of the crowd kind of almost takes on a nautical kind of look. Like a lot of Ween fans look kind of like pirates, honestly. Like that's sort of like their thing. They dance like dress up like fucking a cross between a pirate and like Aladdin and like a straight up homeless person. I don't know. And they're amazing and they're beautiful and wonderful people and I love them all. It's gonna be all right. It's a pretty song. Golden Eel. I'm wearing a Golden Eel shirt. This is the Golden Eel shirt, and I cannot reveal the words of the Golden Eel. So the words are actually boxed out. You cannot see what the Golden Eel is saying. And it's about, obviously, Jeter. It's a literal song about an event that took place where Jeter was in his buddy's basement and he had a golden eel in a tank across from him and he was tripping out on either mushrooms or acid. And he cannot reveal the words of the golden eel. Sitting alone in the den watching the eel, I cannot reveal the words of the golden eel. It's a fucking hilarious song about a trip. And the guitar, like live, is one of my absolute favorites. Cold Blows the Wind is based on a 500-year-old Scottish or Irish folk song. And it's, they got this book of songs, Irish folk songs, whatever. And they read the lyrics and they made the song to it. And I love the progression, how like the first one just has like the quick guitar hit. The second one has the guitar hit and the synth. And then the third verse has like, it just builds that way. And it gets, by the end of it, it's just so heavy. And it's really good. Cold Blows the Wind is one of my favorites. And listen to the old versions of it. It's really cool too. Pink Eye on My Leg, I think has somebody else singing on it. And I like that one too. Waving My Dick in the Wind. It's okay. It's a nice little kind of country thing. Buckingham Green is really like a live standard, like really big song. They played it at that South Park thing, I think with Les Claypool as well. And the drummer, all the Primus. Ocean Man, you'd love it. Jeter plays the mandolin. It's a great pop track. Like it's a fucking really, really smart. Everybody loves it. That's a great song. No questions. She Wanted to Leave, one of my favorite songs on the album, because I love the story. 3 men's all they were, lost at sea. 3 men came aboard my ship and took my true love from me, but she wanted to leave. And it's like, you know, and it's like, and in the end, he's in the bar and I go fetch a bottle of rum, dear friend, and fill up my glass to the brim. I, for one, you know, like, I just love the pirate tale. It's fucking awesome. It's about this guy and his girl left. He's going to fire at him anyways. And she talks him out of shooting him in the sea kind of thing. I don't know. It's cool. I love it. And it's a pretty song. I actually like the album version more, and I love to play the song on guitar. It's actually really easy to play on guitar. 5 stars, Mollusk. Sword.
Pretty nice.
Number 2.
All right, number 2. And I'm at 8 stars again for Chocolate and Cheese. That's going to be my number 2. And I think this is the culmination of the first 3 albums, and it's, I would say, the pinnacle of the Brown sound. Like, I think it has like the chaos of the first 3, but it's more listenable, better production, more commercial. Like, I don't know, for some reason I just like pretty much like all of these songs like quite a bit. Yeah, like Take Me Away, it really reminds me of like a kind of like a 70s kind of ish song, sort of. You know, you got Spinal Meningitis, which I actually love it. Like, I know it might be like dark subject matter and stuff, but it's, to me, it's all just kind of goofy. And it's, you know, it has that like crazy guitar solo at the end. Try to think of, or I can't put my finger on it. That's kind of the Pure Guava tracks that I said are kind of repetitive, but almost kind of get you into the groove. That's kind of what is done here, and maybe better than like any song on Pure Guava, maybe. Just my opinion. Here for Eddie, really cool like guitar piece there. Roses Are Free, such a great melody. See, Joppa Road, not one of my favorites, honestly, but just a funny note that I put is that when I first listened to it, I was on the train to work, and I thought they were saying Chapel Roan, and I had to look at the title, and it said Joppa Road, and I'm like, how did I mistake Joppa Road for Chapel Roan? But I don't think I can unthink that now, to be honest. So, and then
I don't think
yeah,
I
Don't
can
Shit Where
either.
You Eat.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Sword.
you're gonna hear it now.
Thanks, Sword. That's
You'll just hear
good. That's good. No, I can totally see
You'll just
that.
hear Chapel Road every time now. Yeah. And Don't Shit Where You Eat. Well, I didn't know that until I heard the song. So I mean, I gotta give it high rating. So 8 stars for Chocolate and Cheese.
Oh boy. All right, so my number 2 is their 9th album, according to our list, Shinola, from 2005. I am crazy about this one. It might be their most fun album. I almost put it at number 1. It's not the brownest album, but there's a definite brown flavor here. Their exploratory, experimental side is in full effect. Most of these songs are 4.5 excellent or 5-star gold for me. Opener tastes good on the bun, has cool, angular guitar riffs and tasty effects. The lyrics are very minimal. Same with Big Fat Fuck, which has a phenomenal sound, and also How High Can You Fly, loaded with trippy vocal distortion. This shit is gold. Boys Club sounds like a gay old time. Gabrielle, like Joe was saying, is just stunning. The way it sounds like Thin Lizzy with its gallop and vocals that sound exactly like Phil Lynott. They pull the same trick on the stunning
words. I think it's the words. It's something like, I was trying to figure that out because I was listening to that song and I was like, what is it like? It's not just the sound. It's also like the phrasing and like
Yeah.
and the selection of like how he's saying it. Like how he's kind of like he's kind of like beat up a bit in the words, like, I don't mean to be so, but it's because I love you, babe. And like that's sort of like, that's just, it's not exactly a Thin Lizzy thing, but it's sort of, I can see them doing it.
Look, I think that you could actually fool a Thin Lizzy fan, but say, hey, check out this long lost Thin Lizzy track. And they'd go, cool, rare Thin Lizzy. I mean, it sounds that close to me, really close. But they pull the same trick on the stunningly good Monique the Freak with vocals that sound as if they got Prince on the record. Such a killer song. I love the distorted vocals at the chorus and the scorching guitar solo. The one song that holds this album back slightly is Israel, in which Gene recites the Jewish Kaddish. Not sure how that's pronounced.
That's it. Yeah, Kaddish.
Yeah, over some rather cheesy lounge music. It's not bad, and there's a subtle siren in there, which is interesting. It's the weakest track here, but it makes you wonder what the intent behind it is, whether it's mocking or sincere. Shinola does not have any of the extreme lows that most of their other albums have, which is partly why it ranks so high. I Fell in Love Today is another great song with its slow groove, and the riff is gold, a very fun and trippy song. Shinola is disjointed, like most Ween albums, but it totally works as an album despite that. Only Ween could pull this off. 5 stars.
All right.
Actually, if I could mention, when I was thinking about where you guys would put these albums, I was really thinking Rich would put Shinola quite high. I'm not sure why, but just had a feeling.
It's a really good album. Like, I also considered putting it at number 1 this morning when I was watering the flowers. Like, I was listening to it this morning. And it was just like, it's whatever one to listen to last, like just jumps, right? It's like, but I didn't fuck
like
with it.
You got a 9-way tie for number 1.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I do. I guess I have a sure thing number 10 on this list. Okay, so my number 2 album, which has a lot, it's got to be a lot, 13 great live bangers from God, Ween, Satan. And there's no way in hell I would have God, Ween, Satan, the pod, or Pure Guava, maybe Pure Guava a bit earlier, but the pod or God, Ween, Satan in my top 2 for a long time. What it is that there's so many great songs on these albums that are locked inside these sometimes hard to listen to things, and that was sort of a goal on the first album, was to be kind of obnoxious. That was part of it. Also to be anonymous. They were still kind of anonymous at this time too. But anyways, this is their in their mind, their greatest 26 songs that they wrote in the first 6 years they were together. And they got a record deal, and they had already put out a record, I guess, they had put out some stuff, but this is really their debut record. Sorry, God, Ween, Satan. I also have somewhere, of me here in the background, the God, Ween, Satan Live, which I highly recommend, which I listen to all the time, way more than this, because the live tracks are so good. Opens up with You Fucked Up, which is really great live track. I was introduced to it on this live in Chicago. I was introduced to a lot of these things on live in Chicago, and all the live albums are incredible. I love them all. I feel like I haven't mentioned them all. The Tick, Tick is
Live in
awesome.
Chicago is on YouTube, right? I think.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube. Yeah, definitely check it out. And if you find a copy, buy it. And it comes with a CD and a DVD combo. And if you can't
Nice.
find one, Rich, I actually have a second one. I can send it to you. Okay, so Tick's the second song. Tick in my head. I love Tick. I think it's awesome. It's really cool to hear him pull it off live. Like all of these. I'm in the mood. Don't like it really at all on the album, but I love it on live. It's super fun. And it sounds like it's kind of incredible that they can pull it off live because it's kind of got some unique sounds going on, even on the studio album, God Ween Satan. God Ween Satan is a gospel album, to Bugnish. And Ween is between God and Satan, and with Bugnish here, and they talk about that. This is a gospel album in the liner notes here, and they talk about how they met Bugnish and how they can't talk about the one time, but then the other time, this is what Bugnish told them to do and make these songs and blah blah blah. It's great. I love the lore. I think it's great. It's so essential in what Ween is, which is more than just a group. I'm in the mood to move. Sorry, it's fun live. I Got a Weasel is really fun live. Fat Lenny, great live. I love that. Fat Lenny. Whoa, Fat Lenny. It's still really heavy, and Claude Coleman is such an incredible drummer. It really brings a lot to that. There's many great live versions on many of these live albums in and around me, all Ween's live stuff. Cold and Wet, does nothing for me. Bumblebee, love it. Love Bumblebee. Running away from a bumblebee, it's so friggin' funny. Don't Laugh, I Love You, great live, and I love the studio album too. The studio version I think is pretty good. It gets across. Diener famously puts on the bass on that one on stage when they do it live. Never Squeal on the Pusher. Don't lie to your mama. Just do what you wanna, and it'll be okay. I kind of like that song. Up on the Hill is another Praise Bugnish song. A preachy song's funny. Wayne's Pet Youngin, never did much for me. Nicole is okay. Common Bitch is okay. El Camino is great live. Old Queen Cole is great live. Nan is one of my favorite songs on the album. Licking the Palm for Guava. It always gets played back to back with Mushroom Festival from Hell. They always get played together. So when Licking the Palm for Guava comes on, I'm just excited because I love Mushroom Festival in Hell so much. It's a mushroom festival in hell. I don't know. It's funny as hell. Let Me Lick Your is a 10-minute Prince track where they actually sample Shakadelia and Alphabet Street. And it's a full-on Prince track. Papa Zit, and it's pretty good. I like the live stuff, but they go really long on that song. Papa Zit is okay. Old Man Thunder is okay. Birthday Boy has got to be consumed live. So when it's on the album, it is way too abrasive, and it doesn't even sound anything like a beautiful anything. But when you listen to it live, it's heartbreaking, beautiful song. Like when Gina puts his heart out there, it's pretty good. Blackjack is a fun song. Squelch the Weasel is a song when Gina has to go pee, or somebody has to go pee, they'll play this song and they'll leave the stage and they'll play it in the background. Marble Tulip, Juicy Tree is one of my favorite live songs ever. Diener's guitar is so good. And then Puffy Cloud is My Brain is Dead from Too Much Pot, because Gina and I smoke too much pot. Cloudy, 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 cloud. Once again, Painting the Town Brown is my favorite version. Puffy Cloud, and I think it's on that side. It's on the side of Vallejo, which is one of my other favorite songs about that artist Vallejo that used to paint the naked women on horses. And a song about Vallejo. It's so friggin' funny. Sorry. Gotta Be a Satan. I got it at number 2.
Very cool. I guess Ween didn't listen to Doja Cat and Paint the Town Red, but anyway, stupid. Okay, my number 1 is White Pepper, and I think it's by far their most consistent album, and I think it also has like a ton of standouts as well, so that's kind of why it's number 1. It starts with Exactly Where I'm At, which I don't know what it is. I love how it's like a normal rock song, but it feels a little psychedelic with like the reverb, and then you have the drums are like just so cool. Yeah, like the drumming in general and just the drum sound is just really cool on that song, especially. And it has like Flutes of Chi. That's a very pretty song. Even If You Don't is just pure like awesome pop. Bananas and Blow is very fun. Stroker Ace has a ton of like furiosity to it. Back to Basam is great, and Stay Forever. I mean, it just has so many good songs on it, and pretty much no like lows at all, which yeah, I think there's a lot of as good as Ween is, there's a lot of albums for me that have a ton of lows in it and stuff, and White Pepper just doesn't have any of that. So yeah, I think still an 8 star for me, but most bands for me cap at like 8 stars, but that does mean it's great. So yeah, White Pepper, really, really great album.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. My number one is their eighth proper studio album, Quebec. It's from 2003. This had to be number one because almost all of these songs are excellent or gold. This is a more mature album for Ween. Much of it is informed by Gene Ween's recent divorce at the time. In my opinion, this is a new level of quality in terms of songwriting for the band. More sophisticated, even better melodies than ever. Gene takes all of the vocals except for the first song, which is a Motorhead-style boogie-woogie rocker sung by Dean. Gene's vocals are kaleidoscopic as usual, but we get maybe a little more in the way of straight singing. In typical Ween fashion, there is one song I can't stand, and that would be the Fucked Jam. I guess the boys felt the need to throw something brown in the mix to remind everyone who they were. The Fucked Jam sounds cool at first, but quickly becomes super irritating. There are gaps in the proceedings that last way too long, adding to the intense tedium. This track was originally enough to keep Quebec off the top placement, but upon further reflection, I still had to put Quebec at the top. Despite this considerable blemish, there are 11 excellent or gold songs here, far more than on any other album. Of course, 5 stars.
Beautiful. I can see that. It's their most polished album is Quebec in a lot of ways, right? Like it's just they spent a lot of time working on it, and it's got a lot of really great studio qualities to it. And yeah, they didn't really f with the the vocals on very many of the songs. So yeah, it's really cool. They're all, like I said, in a tie. All right, number one for me in this way of ranking them turns out to be The Pod from 1991. The Pod refers to, and so I got 16 rad live tracks on this album. And The Pod refers to a farmhouse they had rented in somewhere close to New Hope, Pennsylvania, where they're from. And they lived in it, and they got a 4-track and recorded songs on it and came down on mono. They got a song, Mononucleosis, on there, which is one of the funniest songs about being sick I think I've ever fucking heard in my life. The lyrics are just hilarious. I also wasn't really that into The Pod until I got this record store day pressing of it. It's on clear wax. It sounds great. And this was like a few years ago now. And that really got me into listening to it. Also, when they got back together in 2016, I went and saw them at Terminal 5 in New York. And they played Frank on there on that show. Live, it was like something completely different. I was like, oh my God, this is one of their best songs. Strap on That Jammy Pack's another live banger. The Pork Roll, Egg and Cheese, I was in Philadelphia and New Jersey and stuff just a couple years ago, and every chance I got, I had a pork roll, egg and cheese. It's just that's just what they were into at the time when they were living in the pod. So it came up in a lot of their songs. Sorry, Charlie is kind of a fun one, a sort of sing-along as Diener sings it. The Stallion Part 1 is the first song, and it's amazing that song is recorded on a 4-track. The Stallion Part 1, like the audio on that is incredible. Like that's recorded on it doesn't sound, it sounds like a big studio song to me. Polo Asado is funny. Like I said, Gina worked at a Mexican restaurant. Rights and Ways to Rules of the World doesn't do a lot for me. Captain Fantasy, not a lot for me. Demon Sweat does a lot for me. I love the whole, what is it, Phil Collins sort of sound to the whole like In the Air Tonight sort of feel to Demon Sweat. Molly is actually my wife and daughter's favorite song at one point was Molly, which is hilarious, and which is also a song they've never done live. Any Taste of Waste, I do like that song. I don't know that I've heard it live. Don't Sweat It makes me think of a sad show when the meltdown show in Vancouver. I was front row in front of Junior when he played that song. And yeah, anyways, Awesome Sound is a great track. It's such a great live banger too, because they just fuck around with it forever. They just keep going and going and going, play it for like 15 minutes. Awesome Sound. Stop! Laura is all right. Boing has been a recent addition to the live shows and is pretty fun actually. Mononucleosis, I mentioned the lyrics are great. One of the best songs I've ever heard about being sick. If I got mono, at least I got a song for it. Oh My Dear, Falling in Love is a great pop track. I don't really like it live so much. Sketches of Winkle is okay. Alone, great. She Fucks Me is actually one of the best live tracks, and especially on the Live in Chicago, which is the Quebec tour, Rich. The Live in Chicago is the Quebec tour, so they play a lot of Quebec on there. Pork roll, egg, and cheese is like, yeah, also on that. That thing was like one of my early favorite songs from Ween was Pork roll, egg, and cheese. And the version on here is actually pretty good. It's kind of cool. A very skater like song in my mind. I think of like Gummo and like that sort of culture, like the kids and anyways. The Stallion Part 2 is on the later versions and it's hilarious. It's funny and it's totally different. The music video is really good with Mr. Ed. So that's number one.
How does the pod rank in your like top albums of all time? Is it top 10 or?
I mean, I don't know which album it would go into my top 10. Like one has to, right? Of the Ween albums. Like, I guess so. I guess it would have to be in my top 10. Like,
Pretty cool.
yeah. Just the
That
just
particular question hard to deal with.
well, it's just because it's like
It is.
they are like probably my favorite band. I don't know if it like I don't know if they have actually a top 10 album for me or not. I don't know. Maybe Chocolate and Cheese might even rank higher in my tops just because of a connection I have with it personally. It's so hard to do that though. That's what my kid always wants me to do that. He's like, just make your top 100 albums of all time and be done with it. I'm like, well, it's so hard to do. It's like,
Yeah,
I want to have a few albums from everybody, right?
I mean, it's a tough question. I like to do that though. Like rank. I tried to rank my top 25 and it was pretty hard, but I was able to kind of do it, although it changes all the time. So
That's the
it's kind of-
problem. My opinion is fluid.
I mean,
yeah, I agree.
the Mollusk, the Country album, Chocolate and Cheese have all been my favorite album of all time at one point in my life. I don't know. So has Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, Metal. So I don't know. Like, it's so hard to pick. So has Nas, Illmatic. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for sure.
Sorry. Okay, top 10 songs. So you guys have something ready to go there?
Yep.
Okay, let's go for it. Sword, you go first.
All right. For number 10, I have Flutes of Chi from White Pepper. Very just pretty song. I don't have too much to say about it, but a good melody, pretty song. So, yep.
Yeah, great lyrics.
All right, I'm not going to comment too much on these. My number 10 is My Own Bare Hands from La Cucaracha.
I love it. Awesome. That's very Brown. Right on. Okay. Some of these aren't going to actually be on the albums. I'll go with the top 10 Ween songs. Number 10, I'm going So Long Jerry, a tribute to Jerry Garcia. This was recorded with the Shit Creek Boys, the Nashville Legends, just after Jerry Garcia passed away. And it is friggin' gorgeous. Yeah. One of the greatest leaked things ever for Ween is So Long Jerry, in my opinion.
Oh, wait. Yeah, my turn. My bad. My number 9 is It's Gonna Be a Long Night, the Motorhead kind of parody. It's one of their heaviest songs, and it's just really awesome. So, yeah, number 9.
My number 9 is Piss Up a Rope from 12 Golden Country Greats. And this list is based on the albums, really. I did hear a bunch of non-album stuff, but none of it really made my top 10, so this is album based. But believe it or not, I have a note here. I also could have gone with the excellent B-side to this, So Long Jerry, tribute to Jerry Garcia. It is a killer tune.
That's very cool. Right on. Okay, cool. All right, my number 9 song I'm going with is from the pod. I'm going with Frank. Frank, give me a pork roll, egg, and cheese. The way the song opens up when they do it live, they did the drum beat first, and then they kick into the beat, and that bass line, boom, 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 boom. The first time I saw it was at Terminal 5, and I posted a video of that on YouTube. But the video to check out, in my opinion, was when I saw them at Troutdale. I saw them at Troutdale, Oregon, 2018. And when they did Frank, they put a little extra sauce on Junior's voice, where it's like sounds like he's like coming through bubbles or whatever. It's just fuck, it's so good. And Dieter's up on stage doing his whole like I'm like a raptor or whatever, like with his hands like this. It was awesome. Check it out, Troutdale, 2018. Frank, a pork roll, egg and cheese with some gravy, fries. Love it live.
Awesome. My number 8's gonna be Dr. Rock from the Pod. Definitely my favorite song on it, and it's just pure awesome.
My number 8 is Don't Sweat It from the Pods.
Another great brown choice. Man, that's cool about the live stuff too, is they kind of try to brown it up a little bit on stage, just kind of make it a little muddier. That's pretty cool. Comes through great. My next pick comes off of it's number 8, right? Is from Quebec. I'm going with I Don't Want It. Wiener's song. I love the solo. I love the lyrics. It's one of the prettiest songs. About breaking up, but like I understand it, but I don't want it. I pushed you and you laughed when I fell. Just little lines in there, and then that solo that Jeaner does, and then he basically drops the guitar or whatever at the end. That big thud. It's so cool. That's a great emotional ending to a song. I love it. It kind of reminds me a bit of REM in a way. Some of the guitar playing on REM are the way that they end songs and stuff like that. I always thought was really cool. I hear that in some of these songs. So yeah, anyways, I Don't Want It coming with me on my top 10. I'm used to that desert island thing. Okay, go ahead, Sword.
Oh, no. All right, my number 7 is Take Me Away. So the starter track on Chocolate and Cheese. It just reminds me of like a classic rock song kind of, and yeah, it's just really, really awesome. So yeah.
My number 7 is You Fucked Up from God, Ween, Satan, The Oneness.
I think that all of your songs so far have been on that one. Sorry, on that Live in Chicago one. Okay. And there's a new live album that just came out, which is actually really cool. And it's featuring one of my upcoming songs, but it's not this one. Okay. And my next song I'm taking is from Z-Rock Hawaii, an album they made with the Boredoms. It's a total Jeaner Diener show thing anyways. I think Diener actually produced it. The song I'm going with is Get a Little Taste of You, which I saw live at Terminal 5 in New York. Yeah, she's the way I thought
They
about that song too.
collaborated with the Boredoms?
I believe is that Japanese group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I gotta hear that.
Yeah, they made an album. I'm pretty sure it's with the Boredoms.
You dig it?
It's called Z-Rock Hawaii.
Okay.
If it's not the Boredoms, I have to edit that out. Anyways, yeah, I dig it. Get a Little Taste of You is a great track. Really cool album as well. And it just came out on vinyl very recently.
All right, my number 6 is Roses Are Free, my favorite song from Chocolate and Cheese. And it's just, I don't know why, I love the melody for it, but I also love that it kind of like rises up to it, if that makes any sense. Like, roses are free, or whatever.
Builds.
Whatever it does. It's very cool. So yeah, it's my number 6.
My number 6 is Monique the Freak from Shinola Volume.
I used to have there's a big 12-inch single you can buy of Monique the Freak that's like twice as long. It's really good too. But yeah, they shortened it up a few minutes when I threw it onto Shinola. So there is another version out there that you can listen to that rocks longer and harder.
Wow.
Yes. And it's the 12-inch single or whatever. It came out before Shinola.
Gotta hear that.
For whatever reason. Okay, up next, we were talking about this on our Discord thing there. Up next from the X-Files soundtrack, I'm going with their song Beacon Light. Beacon Light was one of 2 songs they gave X-Files. David Duchovny became a fan, and his first favorite song was Piss Up a Rope of Ween. And then when they went to make the X-Files movie, David Duchovny insisted to have Ween on the soundtrack. And so Ween submitted 2 songs. One was Beacon Light and one was The Rift. And they chose Beacon Light. And Beacon Light has killer fucking lyrics about basically going into a different world where an alien world where an ounce is a ton, like, and so like just all these different things or whatever that are people dancing around with a peach in their hand, and where an ounce is a ton, and don't you be late. I got my jammy pack on. Strap on your jammy pack. Jammy pack's is on the cover of the pod. That's a jammy pack. And that's basically like a bong for a huff and scotch guard. And that's Mean Ween in the photo there. Anyways, Beacon Light is a really cool rocker, and Joe from Taste Like Music, I was in his Discord thing or whatever, and somebody asked him to review Beacon Light, and he loved it. It was his favorite song of the year, which was not, he didn't really like Ween at all when they did the deep dive, but he loved that song. And the other side, the A side, is actually Foo Fighters' Walking After You, which is my favorite Foo Fighters song. So that's cool too.
I just posted that one on Discord too, because I think it's a killer tune.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Oh yeah.
I'll have to watch this back and like listen to all the songs that are not on the albums that you mentioned, because yeah, it sounds interesting.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll send you the playlist, because this playlist is also on the channel JOEpinionated. There's a Ween podcast on the channel that this will go into called a Ween podcast number 666, but it's on the JOEpinionated channel. It used to be at My Friend Joe, and it just changed to at JOEpinionated. So it's JOEpinionated. It's a mouthful.
Pretty cool.
Oh, the playlists are on my channels under playlists or
Yeah, I'll
under the things. All these songs are sitting there under a playlist called Ween 100 Best Songs playlist on my channel.
gotcha. Okay, I'll give that a listen. All right, my number 5 is Woman and Man. I think it has a cool build up to it, and the guitar solo is just so awesome. I kind of love like very like long, jammy, guitar heavy songs, and it really delivers. So yeah, it's got to be my number 5 here.
It's a total Santana heavy song.
Indeed.
My number 5 is Buckingham Green from the Mollusk.
Yeah, that's about a strip mall. Did you know that, Rich?
What?
It's about a strip mall,
No.
Buckingham Green. So now when you hear the song and you hear all the lyrics, it's just about different things they see at the strip mall.
Well,
The child without an eye made his mama cry.
it
But why ask why? What's that?
sounds very stately. I would think of like a huge country estate in a mansion or something like that. But no. Okay.
Yeah.
You ruined it for me.
Yeah. Sorry. It's funny. Okay, up next, another rare one. It just came out on a live album too, but it's one of my favorites. I believe it's from the Pod Sessions or something like that. There's a cool version of it online, and they just came out with an even better one that I'm still waiting for. It was on a Record Store Day release that just came out live in Europe in 1990, I believe it's called. I haven't actually heard that version yet. I can't wait. I've seen it live. It's one of the best songs live that I've seen Ween perform. It's called Albino Sunburn Girl. Albino Sunburn Girl, I really love you. You're an oyster. I'm an oyster. You're a pearl. It's just really kind of greasy love song for an albino sunburned girl. Love it so much. I just get like, I don't know, I picture middle of the desert, maybe a little north of where you live, Rich, and just kind of in the middle of nowhere, and just, I don't know. I just, yeah, I like it. It's dirty. Go for it, Sword.
All right. My number 4 is exactly where I'm at, from White Pepper. And as I said, I love the sound of the drums in that one, and just, it sounds a little psychedelic, but it's still like a kind of standard rock song, just really cool. So number 4.
All right. My number 4 is If You Could Save Yourself, You'd Save Us All from Quebec.
Yeah, like that's my son's current favorite. All right, number 4, I'm going with Don't Shit Where You Eat, my friends. Who said it was hard to climb the peak that we can't see? I tell you, it's an easy thing when it's you and me. Don't shit where you eat, my friend.
All right. My number 3 is Ocean Man. And I don't know what to say about it. It's just like obviously really good, and it's a classic, so I'll just leave it there.
Nice. My number 3 is The Mollusk from the Mollusk.
Right on. My number 3, I'm going to go with Kim Smoltz. Kim Smoltz. And that's from, I believe, the Mollusk Sessions. Kim Smoltz is one of the first picks on everybody's Shinola too, I believe, is Kim Schmaltz. Props to, I believe it's Chris. It's like Music Discord. Kim Smoltz. I saw him do it live. Terminal 5 blew my mind. Again, see it live.
Pretty cool. All right, my number 2 is Polka Dot Tail. This was my number 1 that I wrote down this morning, but I decided to have something overtake it. But I love this song. Like, it's so catchy, but it's also like very strange and again psychedelic kind of. Like, I love that part where he says like Help Me or something, and then has that weird jammy part or whatever at the end. Like that's just so freaking cool. So yeah, very close number 2.
All right, my number 2 is LMLYP, which we all know stands for Let Me Lick Your from God Ween Satan, the Oneness.
It's so hard. It's just hard to even hear somebody say it. All right.
Yeah.
My number 2, I'm wearing this shirt, but I will not reveal the words of the Golden Eel. The Golden Eel is my number 2 off of the Mollusk. Lot to pick from the Mollusk, but yeah, I love this one live, especially. I guess so. I guess that's next on my list. Number 2, the Golden Eel.
I almost picked that instead of Buckingham Green.
It's a great track, and now that you know the backstory, it's even better, right? That it's a real story.
Yeah.
Sitting in the den.
And my number 1 is Stay Forever from White Pepper. I don't know why this one just kept auto playing for me, like because I'd either be listening to it at work or I'd put it on Spotify and just have it like play, and I'd usually forget to go to a new album before it auto plays or something. Stay Forever would just keep auto playing, and I don't know. The more I heard it, I was just like, man, this is just such a gorgeous song. Like it is just really gorgeous, and actually that's really the only reason it's number 1. I really love it for some reason, and that's just it's just what I'm feeling right now. So going number 1, Stay Forever.
Yeah, sounds like it belongs there.
Yeah, just a vibe.
My number 1 is Transdermal Celebration from Quebec. I just think this is peak Ween songwriting. Just fantastic tune.
Yeah, I remember having the Ween Quebec CD when that first came out, and I remember Transdermal Celebration blowing my mind. I remember listening. I remember where I was driving on the road,
Yeah,
and just that song was the first one from the album to really kind of be like perk my ears up.
yeah.
Very cool, very great solo too. On like we mentioned, Santana's guitar. I think I'm gonna go with. I already did on off that album. I'm gonna go with I Don't Want to Leave You on the Farm as my number 1 from the country album. I don't think there's a bad song on that album, to be honest with you. Like I really do have a hard time thinking of a bad song on that album. I don't know what it is about this song. I like the slick, quick lyrics. It's just saying enough and not saying enough, and at the same time, it's just kind of a really sounds like a classic country song. But it also throws in Days Go By and I'm Still High. Don't you know I'm thinking about you? Horns turn brown, leaves fall to the ground. It's a sound that sticks like glue. It's sort of, yeah. Anyways, I don't know. It's good. I Don't Want to Leave You on the Farm. I'll take it, number 1. And it reminds me, I play this song on the guitar to my daughter all the time. So it makes me think of you. And that's really what this whole thing's about, is memories from my kids. And, trying to throw little stories in here and there, and it'll be documented for them down the road. So, yeah, I think about playing this song to my daughter a lot. Yeah, on guitar, because it's nice and easy. I'm a shit musician. I can barely play anything. So if it's got like 3 chords, I'm in. But yeah.
Pretty Girl is another one that's really high from that album.
Which one?
I think Pretty Girl is one of the best on that album.
Pretty Girl is musically one of the best. Uva La is a really great song that got cut off of Quebec, that was on the original Japanese release of Quebec, so that makes it like a rarity. Uva La almost made my list. Mango Woman's another B-side. She Wanted to Leave.
I love ranking stuff and listening to more stuff, so nothing to feel bad about at all.
So do you think that you'll like stick with Ween and try to find more of it, or you think you're kind of like good for now and sick of it, or where are your
I'm
thoughts
gonna
right now?
listen to a little bit of the live stuff. I'll probably listen to a lot of the top Ween albums that I put, like probably maybe my top 4-ish or something, probably. But yeah, probably more of the live stuff would be good to listen to, I'd say. But I think they are a great band. Like, I'm not one of those kind of people that like averages out scores and says, oh, a band is this score average. It's like, because you don't have to listen to the bad stuff. You can only listen to the good stuff. I mean, my second favorite band is Fish. Fish has like 8 albums that I'll probably never listen to again. So,
Yeah. There's always like a constant like Fish and Ween, like sort of joking hatred. It's like a camaraderie because Trey is friends with Gene and Dean.
I see.
But it's always like we don't like Fish. And it's like, nah, we don't like Ween. And it's like Ween has a bunch of shirts that say we're not a jam band. Ween, we're not a jam band, because Fish plays the song from Chocolate and Cheese there that I'm blanking on.
Roses Are Free.
Sorry. Roses Are Free.
That's the other thing. I didn't even realize these bands were as connected as they were. Like you said, they played with Primus, and Fish like plays covers of their like Ween's songs. I didn't know any of that stuff. So
Oh yeah.
I gotta figure that out too. Like I gotta watch that stuff.
Myself, I hope to listen to more Ween in the future. I can see myself throwing on a live album at some point. It's just that my listening habits revolve around my projects, especially ranking videos on my channel and all my little taste like music, Discord games and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it keeps me busy, but I finally heard Cyndi Lauper's She's So Unusual album after so long, after hearing the hits over and over in the 80s when I was a teen. So that was weird. But yeah, it's a 4. The hits are gold. The hits are gold, but the rest of the album, not on that level, but that's okay. Anyway, thanks for having me on, Joe. It's been a blast.
Hey guys.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. And once again, look forward to working with you guys again in the future. And let me know. I would gladly guest on either your channels anytime. I think I'm going to be doing something with Rich regarding Black Crows, and it's your turn to pick one, Sword, for something else.
Sure.
All respect in the world to Ween, Steve Drywitz, Glenn McClellan, Claude Coleman, Aaron Freeman, Mickey Melchiondo, Gene and Dean Ween. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I love it. Check out the other interviews and stuff like that upcoming on the channel. Some are Ween related. Also, some movie stuff coming up too, and a Black Crows episode with Rich. And I'm sorry I'm a little low on facts and high on opinions. Respect to Sword, respect to Rich, respect to Gene and Dean Ween. We're thinking of you, Diener. We out.